Welcome to Once Upon English.
Some say love ends when life does. They were wrong, because in a small town in Spain, two lovers proved that even death can't stop a promise. A story of devotion, heartbreak, and the kiss that came too late. This is The Lovers of Teruel. The Promise. Teruel, Spain. A small, sun-drenched town surrounded by rolling hills and ancient stone towers. It was the early 1200s, a time of knights, noble families, and strict traditions. In one corner of that town lived a young man named Diego de Marcila. He was brave, kind, and full of dreams. But he was also poor, the son of a family with little more than honor to their name. Across the cobbled streets, in a large and beautiful house, lived Isabel de Segura, the daughter of one of the richest men in Teruel. Isabel was graceful, intelligent, and known for her beauty, her eyes as bright as the Spanish morning sun. From the moment Diego and Isabel met, something unexplainable happened. It was as if time itself stopped. They were drawn to each other, not by words, but by something deeper, something ancient. Their love was pure and powerful, but forbidden. Isabel's father, proud and ambitious, wanted her to marry a nobleman, someone with land, gold, and a family name that could make their house even more powerful. Diego had none of that. All he had was love. One warm evening, under a silver moon, Diego and Isabel met secretly near the old stone bridge of Teruel. The sound of the river echoed softly below, and the stars shone like witnesses to their secret. "Isabel," Diego whispered, taking her hand, "I have nothing to give you now. No gold, no title, no castle. But I have my word. Give me 5 years, 5 years to earn my fortune. And if, when I return, you are still free, I will ask for your hand in marriage." Tears filled Isabel's eyes. 5 years, she said softly. "That's a lifetime." "Then I will spend every heartbeat of it thinking of you," Diego replied. And so, beneath that moonlit sky, they made their promise, a promise stronger than steel and more fragile than a dream. The next morning, Diego left Teruel to seek his fortune. He joined wars, traded goods, crossed mountains and seas, chasing a future that could make him worthy of Isabel. Meanwhile, Isabel waited. Days turned into months, months into years. She kept her promise, holding Diego's name close to her heart like a secret prayer. But fate, as always, has its own plans. The return. 5 years passed. 5 long, endless years. Teruel had changed. New faces, new buildings, and new stories whispered in its narrow streets. But in the heart of Isabel, nothing had changed. Every sunset, she would walk to the same bridge where Diego had said goodbye. She would look at the horizon, wondering where he was, and if he still remembered her. But her father had grown impatient. 5 years is long enough, he told her. "You are no longer a child, Isabel." a wealthy nobleman has asked for your hand, and I have accepted. The wedding will be in 3 days. Isabel's heart broke silently. She had promised Diego. But how could she fight her father, a man of power and pride, in a time when daughters had no voice? That night, she cried until her pillow was soaked with tears. Her heart whispered one thing again and again: Diego, please come back. And fate, cruel and mysterious, heard her whisper. On the very next day, when the wedding bells were already being polished and the town was busy with celebration, Diego de Marcia finally returned. His hair was longer, his face older, but his heart still burned with the same love. He had done it. He had earned gold, honor, and a name worthy of Isabel. He rode into Teruel with joy and excitement, ready to claim his love. But when he reached the town square, he noticed something strange. The people were smiling, but not at him. Music filled the air, soft guitars, tambourines, laughter. He stopped a man and asked, "What is happening today?" The man smiled. "It's a wedding day. The beautiful Isabel de Segura is getting married." Diego froze. His hands trembled. No, it can't be. He ran faster than his horse could carry him, through the streets, through the crowd, until he reached the great house of Isabel's father. Inside, he saw her in a white gown, her face half covered with a veil, standing beside her new husband. For a moment, their eyes met. Everything else, the crowd, the music, the world, disappeared. Just Isabel and Diego, lost in the silence of what could have been. When the ceremony ended and the guests began to leave, Diego waited in the shadows. As night fell, he found a way into the garden, where Isabel stood alone under the moonlight, her wedding ring still cold on her hand. "Isabel," he whispered. She turned, shocked, trembling. "Diego, is it really you?" "It's me," he said softly. "I came back with everything I promised, but I was one day too late." Tears streamed down her cheeks. "I waited for you every day, Diego. I swear I did. But they forced me. I had no choice." He stepped closer. "Then give me one last thing," he said. "Just one kiss, to die knowing that you loved me still." Isabel stepped back, shaking her head. "No, Diego, I can't." "I'm a married woman now. It would be a sin." "Then let me die," Diego whispered, and with that his body went weak. He fell to the ground, his heart broken, his spirit fading. Isabel screamed his name and fell beside him, her tears mixing with the dust. She tried to lift him, but it was too late. Diego de Marcia was gone, dead from a love too pure for the world. The next morning, the people of Teruel woke to shocking news. At Diego's funeral, when his body was placed in the church for all to say goodbye, a woman dressed in white entered silently. She walked through the crowd, her veil hiding her face. She knelt beside the coffin, lifted his cold face gently, and kissed him. Then, without another word, she fell dead beside him. It was Isabel. The kiss she once refused in life, she gave in death. They were buried side by side, together at last, and for centuries, the people of Teruel have told their story, the story of two lovers who died for a promise that time could not break. Even today, in that small Spanish town, you can visit their tomb. Two stone figures, Diego and Isabel, lying next to each other, their hands almost touching, but not quite. Just like in life, forever close, but never together. The eternal promise. Centuries have passed since Diego and Isabel's tragic love story. The town of Teruel has grown, its streets filled with laughter, music, and the smell of fresh bread from little cafes. But if you ever visit the old church of San Pedro, you'll find a quiet corner where time still stands still. There, under soft lights and stone arches, lie two marble tombs. On them, two figures, a man and a woman, are carved in white stone. Their hands almost touch, but not quite. A few inches of air separates them, as if even death itself could not give them what life refused. People say that if you stand between them in silence, you can feel something, not sorrow, not sadness, but peace, because their love never truly died. It became part of the air, part of the town, part of every heart that still believes in love that waits, and love that never ends. Every year in February, the people of Teruel celebrate Las Bodas de Isabel de Segura, the wedding of Isabel de Segura. For 4 days, the entire city travels back to the 13th century. The streets fill with actors, horses, candles, and music. Men dress as knights, women wear long gowns, and everywhere you go, people whisper the same story. This is where Diego and Isabel loved. This is where they died. This is where they became eternal couples, walk hand in hand through the streets, promising never to take their love for granted. Parents tell their children that love, real love, is not about wealth or beauty. It's about keeping a promise even when the world stands against you. Maybe that's why this legend still matters, because deep down, we all want to believe in a love that doesn't fade, a love that survives distance, time, and even death. And maybe Diego and Isabel were never just two lovers from an old town in Spain. Maybe they were something more, a reminder that the heart remembers what the mind forgets, and that true love never needs to be perfect to be eternal. So next time you look at someone you love, hold their hand, tell them what they mean to you, and don't wait for tomorrow. Because Diego was just one day too late. If you felt something from this story, even for a second, hit that like button and share it with someone you love. And if you're learning English through stories like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We bring you powerful stories that teach not just language, but life itself. Remember, true love never dies.